भुनक्तु सह नौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ओम निधे सर्वविद्यानां विषये भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वमदवाक्य प्रमाणतः व्याख्याता सर्ववेदान्ताता नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। ओम श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ओम समस्त ब्रह्म विद्याचार्येभ्यो नमः। अथर्वऋषे नमः, मण्डूकमहर्षे नमः, गौडवदाचार्यवर्याय नमः, आद्यशङ्करद्गुरुवे नमः, अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। अथ अथर्ववेदान्तर्गतमाण्डूक्योपनिषद शान्तिमन्त्रः। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। अथ चतुर्थ अलाथ शांति प्रकरणम। Hari Om. Salutations to the Lord, the entire Guru Parampara. What a sublime is this Mandukya Karikas. We are just starting, an attempt only is being made, and we know as we spend more time and interest, the sublimities we start understanding, the sublime things. Just now in the ABCD class, we talked about Nahandehos. In this Mandukya, the height of this knowledge is taught, especially in these last two Prakarana. What is taught is not only or not is Deha, every Deha and every Vishwa, Prapancha, all of them are not even born only. What is there is only absolute truth. To such a height of knowledge, we can climb to through Shravana, through contemplation, through some sadhanas, and through our meditation. That's what the purpose. In that purpose, the two things achieved are what? All bandhana, dukkha are there only at the limited upadhi level, whether it is veshti or sameshti, gross or subtle. All of them are transcended. And all sukha ananda is there only in being the infinite self. That all ananda also is gained. So Gaudapada Karika is at that level. And he is helping, guiding all of us without any selfishness or anything. All of us also to that height. Like a doctor who knows medicine, always in a feeling of giving medication and treat the people and give them, make them healthy. उनका अपना तड़प होता है. So too इस ब्रह्मानुभव में रहकर उस आनंद को पाते हुए देहेंद्रिय मन बुद्धि आदि स्थूल सूक्ष्म जगत इत्यादि कुछ नहीं है, इसलिए किंचित भी दुख नहीं रहने वाले. ऐसे मंडूक ऋषि और गौड़वाचार्य, they want to give us that experience of liberation. And that's how they are struggling through these karikas and bhashyas to guide us, to bless us, to convey to us. It is our responsibility to take them as seriously as possible, imbibe the information knowledge, make it as sadhana, and we also will experience that one day. So the entire theme of every Upanishad, and particularly Mandukya Upanishad, is Ekameva Advayam Brahma, Ayamatma Brahma. Sarvam hi etat Brahma, Ayamatma Brahma. That is the goal. And that Brahma is experiential. And in him, no word, no thought goes. So with words and thoughts, we start to explain them, understand them in the beginning stages. And those words, thoughts only are given in the books, we study them. And in every contemplation meditation, the thought is required, which is again a word only. But as we, through this, we keep on refining. What is the refinement here? Elimination of all notions about reality of the Jagat. स्थूल सूक्ष्म कार्य जगत का रियलिटी जब हम फेंकते जाते हैं, even this language of thoughts and shabdas also become obstruction and redundant when we have to experience. Like any sublime thing we have to experience, we stop the thinking as well as the talking. Is it not? When you enjoy any music concert, all other thinkings and all other talkings are dropped. Then only enjoy. Even while eating food also, stop talking, stop thinking, involve in that, you enjoy it. In the same way, in the pure self, any thinking, talking is not possible only, and when you drop it, that infinite bliss comes to us. That is put in the poetic language. That self is that where the mind and speech go to assess it, but they come failure because they could not assess it, could not understand it. मन उसका सोच नहीं पाया, वाणी उसके बारे में कह नहीं पाया, इसलिए वो वापस आ गए. यतो वाचो निवर्तन्ते अप्राप्य मनसा सह. The implication of is that what? Not only that we have to transcend mana and vani to reach him. Second is the mana vani are abstraction. Third is not required for when you drop them, then only the sublime final experience comes to us. So that is a topic under discussion nowadays. Through the Alatha Shanti and all, the existence of it is rejected, and now even you can't think about it, you can't even talk about it. That is the ultimate, the self. But it is experienced. Hmm? You can't think and talk about the electricity. Whatever you talk is very external. But still it can be utilized. Prema, you can't think about it, you can talk it. Pure. The expression of prema you express and you talk it. But prema is experienced in me. In the same way, not speakable but still experienceable are the things there. So to this Atma. We are in the 60th verse. So, what is that? Najeshu sarva dharmesho shashvata shashvatabhidha yatra varnana vartante vivekastatra nochyate. Najeshu sarva dharmesho shashvata shashvatabhidha yatra varnana vartante vivekastatra na uchyate. Now, let me confess one thing. For me, for you all also, which I am every day saying nowadays, कि this is an Upanishad which has to be word by word studied, both the main mantra, Karika as well as Bhashya, exclusively doing only this thing, fully immersed in the study, in the Shravana and meditation. And only after understanding the earlier Vakya or Sloka that we must go to next. And after every 10 12 Sloka, we have to see the final outcome of it, what it is, what is gist, what is summary, what is the synopsis. In that way, fully dedicating time, fully dedicating mind, fully utilizing intellect and its logic, fully using the Sharanagati, Shraddha, Bhakti toward the Guru and Shastra, when we, like a deeply investigating scientist, when we involve in it, then what our Karikakara Bhashakara are saying, it will click to us. Not the way as we study, very superficially with lot of breaks and gaps in which we forget what is discussed earlier. Again, we have to remember that, again connect it, again go to the next. ये सब हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं. Something is better than nothing. But actually, though, every other study given up, every other work given up. Only from the Guru listening to the Upanishad and doing your own study homework, any doubt asking him. That way, when we go through, then only the depth will come. For any subject for that matter, like that only. But it necessitates more here. Then only you can go deep. More than all that, our appreciation of the Karika Karas for his height of way of explaining. And that appreciation should follow by the surrender to Om Sri Gaudapada Swami Namaha. When you keep on taking his name chanting with his grace, this sublimity will be understood. And which is appearing to be abstract at our gross level of Vyavahara. व्यावहारिक लोगों को ये तो असंभव लगता है, जरूरत नहीं लगता है. बट फॉर ए पारमार्थिक दर्शी दिस इज अल्टीमेट एब्सोल्यूट एंड अल्टीमेट ट्रुथ. दोनों का अलग अलग स्टेजेस है. Those who believe the world as real and want to be happy in the world, those who understand the self as real and want to be happy in the self. जमीन आसमान का फर्क होता है, दोनों को साथ में कंपेयर नहीं करना. But for those highly matured people, this is the way. What's the literal meaning of the Sattva mantra? No, I will not refer the earlier ones. Again, it will take time. Today we should do at least a couple of shlokas. Na ajeshu sarva dharmeshu shashvata ashashvata avidha. Avidha means name. Shashvata ashashvata avidha. Na. You can't name it as permanent as well as temporary. Two, Shastra means permanent, Ashastra is temporary. The permanent, temporary words or the meaning of the words, corresponding meaning, are not applicable to the cells which are unborn. Ajeshu Sarvadharmeshu. Sarvadharmeshu is only from the standpoint of we see from this at this level of ignorance so many jivas. Otherwise, that aja word itself should say that it cannot be two. Once you say aja, you have to use only after that singular only. Because unborn, undying truths cannot be two. It's one. But from the standpoint of various students that are listening the class, variety of sadhakas, it is at sarvadharmeshu. सो अजयेशु के सर्वधर्मेशु के साथ अजय जा रहा है, इसलिए जब सर्वधर्मेशु इज प्लूरल, अजय आल्सो बिकम्स प्लूरल ओनली टू हेल्प हिम. अदरवाइज अजय सर्वधर्मे ऐसा होना चाहिए. द सेल्फ which is unborn in that. But Ajeshu Sarvadharmeshu, it is plural. Plural is not because there are so many jivas or there are so many atmas. परमात्मा एक ही है. पर अब हम इतने लोग बैठे क्लास में, इतने लोग साधना कर रहे हैं, उस दृष्टि से थोड़ा श्रोता को खुश करने के लिए कहा प्लूरल. बट हार्ट इन हार्ट ही नोस अजय सर्वधर्मे. So the Ajay Sarvadharme or Ajay Sarvadharmeshu, na, it is not applicable. What is that? Abhida, the name. वही शाश्वता अशाश्वत इसको नहीं कह सकते हैं. So anything born will die. Therefore it is ashashvat. Okay? Now from the standpoint of the thing which is born, other than that which is born is called as shashvata. Everything born, it will die. Therefore it is ashashvata. Is it not? And this ashashvata word is used with regard to something which is always there. And what is always there is Paramatma. Listen, in him there is no birth is there. Therefore there is no word of ashashvata valid there. Therefore the opposite of word, that its word called as shashvata, ये भी वहाँ लागू नहीं होगा. Again I am saying, the world is born. Anything born will die. That which is born and die is called ashashvata. This birth and death ashashvata is said with regard to something other than the body which is born or dying, or the world which is born or dying, called a Paramatma. Look into Paramatma. What is he? He is Shashvata hai. Because he is Shashvata, in him the world is not born. When the world is not born, there is no Ashashvata. When the Ashashvata is not there, the corresponding word called Shashvata also you can't use it. Therefore you can't name it as Shashvata or Ashashvata. Because Shashvata comes from the corresponding Ashashvata. Ashashvata is a thing which is born. And the born is the world or universe. This universe or world is never born in the Atma. Because it is not born, that is not there. Because not there, Ashashvata is not there. इसका अशाश्वत डिग्री निकाल दिया तो इसका भी शाश्वत डिग्री चला जाए. You know, after divorce, when he is no more husband, then she is also no more wife. Is it not? When the Guru says, or Shishya says, you are no more my Guru, his Shishyatva he gave up, then Guru's Gurutva also goes away, Guru Nam. You are an employee of that office. When you are dismissed or leave that job, neither he is your employer nor your employee. दोनों कट्टे चले जाते हैं ना. Same way, the Ashashvatata is to the world, which you have to accept. And you have to know world is created. And go into the cause of world's creation, you go to Paramatma. And look from his standpoint, he is there one without second. In him, there is nothing called as creation happening. When the creation is gone away, then Ashashvata goes away. Ashashvata goes away, it Shashvata ko lekar chala aata hai. Therefore, the self is such an experience, you can never name it as Ashashvata, you can never call it Shashvata. द्रव्य नहीं है इसलिए अशाश्वत नहीं है. अशाश्वत नहीं है इसलिए इसका करस्पॉन्डेंट शाश्वत शब्द भी नहीं चलता है. लाइक द सेल्फ, ये काला है या गोरा है, क्या बताएं? काला एक वस्तु का होता है, उसका अपोजिट एक दूसरा वस्तु होता है सफेद वाला. अब परमात्मा से ना कोई वस्तु उत्पन्न हुआ सफेद वाला, इसलिए वो सफेद है ही नहीं. अब सफेद नहीं तो उसका अपोजिट काला भी नहीं रहेगा. Jati, Dravya, Guna, Ityadi are the ones which are required to measure something with the words. Paramatma is beyond all of them, therefore you can't call him with any name. उनको शाश्वत शाश्वत नहीं कहेंगे. In the beginning it is said, Ajo Nitya Shashvatoyam Purana. Because to pull your attention from the Ashashvata Dehendriyadi. After pulling the identity from them and the self is shown to us, इट इज वन विदाउट सेकंड. जो वन विदाउट सेकंड है उसको कोई भी नाम दे नहीं सकते, क्योंकि कोई भी नाम दो तो उसका अलग ऑपोजिट और एक नाम होना ही चाहिए. Something like a pot. You have to have another pot or at least a gamla. In the pot only you have to have small or big. Matti you cannot all small matti, big matti, another matti. Can you talk like that? Matti is one universal, so tattva is one. But when it is given a name as pot, it has a tendency to create manyness. Then it has to be named. In the pure self, none of these are possible like the pure mud. Therefore, शाश्वत शाश्वत नाम उसको नहीं दे सकते हैं वो अनुभूति को. Therefore, definition of the Atma that it is Shashvata also is rejected because the definition is intellectual. It is true, but that binds you to be intellectual conviction person only. It will not allow us to go to that experience. Like the car brought to you from the office or to home, but same car will not allow to enter into the house if you are holding on to the car, not getting out of it. वही कार वहां से आला है बट उतरना नहीं चाहते हो तो यू कांट एंटर द हाउस. So coming from there, though the car did the work, but the purpose is not sitting in the car. Purpose is go to the house. To go to the house, you have to leave the car. So too, the Shashvata words are used to come up to the home level from the Ashashvata Jagat. But to enter into the experience, you have to drop the word Shashvata also. सब नाम सब रूप नहीं है, सब जाति द्रव्य गुण सब सिर्फ जगत में होते हैं, परमात्मा में नहीं. That's the meaning of first one. Then yatra varnana varnante, self is that state of experience where the varnana cannot happen, therefore the varnas will not work there. Varna is the letters. Letters put together is word exposed to 7 vibhaktis is called entire vyakarana. ये सब परमात्मा में डिनाइड है. Therefore you can't even talk to it with vivek of the buddhi. Shashvata Ashashvata is the vocal word used. That decision comes because the viveka is done by the buddhi to discuss about nitya and anitya. जो नित्य है शाश्वत है, जो अनित्य है अशाश्वत है. जो नित्य शाश्वत, they go together, no? So something is nitya, something anitya, which is that intellect things. Self is that where neither intellect can reach nor word can reach. Word cannot reach, therefore you can't call it Shashvata Shashvata. Intellect cannot reach, therefore you can call it as nitya or anitya. Therefore, Paramatma is Nitya or Anitya is beyond. He is Shashvata or Ashashvata beyond. But to reach to him, you have to drop Nitya Shashvata word. But to come out of Anitya and Ashashvata, in the beginning, you have to believe that he is Nitya and Shashvata. This is how. Nityata, Shashvatata of Paramatma, you have to hold on to come out of the Anitya Ashashvata Jagatu. Having that way come near to Paramatma to experience him, the Nityata, Shashvatata, which are the concept of intellect, speech of the word, that also has to be dropped. Having dropped, you enter into experience. Once you experience it, you yourself realize, see, this experience is such one that it can be conceptualized with intellect, therefore you can't call it as Nitya. It cannot be put in words, therefore you can't call it even as Shashvata. Like anybody who has seen a beautiful place, he says it's so beautiful, yeah, you have to see to believe it. Karke fir he'll explain. Listening to his explanation, you go there. When you go and you experience, you will also explain the same way that it is to be experienced to believe it. Otherwise, you can't explain. Same way, you also explain. So every explanation is to take that person to there. Once he goes there and experiences such one, it cannot have words to explain. कोई सुख के भी घटनाएं ऐसे होते हैं, दुख के भी. Is an example I am giving. To convey experience of self also is like that. You can't call it Shashvata or Nitya. That is the meaning of this shloka. न अजेषु सर्वधर्मेषु शाश्वत अशाश्वत अविधा. ये शास्त्र अशास्त्र नाम भी नहीं दे सकते उसको. और यत्र वर्णा न वर्णन्ते, when the varnas are not able to explain about it, how can the intellect can think? It can't think. Therefore, viveka tatra na uchyate. The viveka that nitya nitya also is invalid. If compared to the worldly anitya, the Lord is nitya. But once you drop the world anitya and reach to nitya Paramatma, you can't call Paramatma also nitya, because nitya goes always with anitya opposite word. कोई अनित्य है तभी इसको नित्य कह सकते हैं. अनित्य नहीं है, इसकी भी नित्यता चले जाएगी. क्योंकि they are related. Just like Karya Karana. If you say something as Karya, then only you have to search for the Karana. If you say something as Karana, you have to look out for its Karya. They are going together. एक दूसरे के बिना नहीं रह सकता. In Paramatma, neither Karanatva nor Karyatva. That's what is explained in the earlier Karikas. So let us see the Bhashya. Paramartha tu, Paramartata tu, Paramartata means from the supreme standpoint, Atmasu, Ajeshu, the selves which are unborn, self in every being. Everyone, like I am thinking myself, you are thinking yourself. So the self in you, self in me is talked about. When it is talked about from the grass standpoint of you and me, yourself, myself, ऐसे बातें ऐसे ही होते हैं. But when you inquire later on, the self in you and self in me are one. वो बात की बात. So बात की बात को बाद में रख के पहले बात के दृष्टि से plural use कर रहे हैं. So don't get carried away with the plural. While using that plural word, he is testing us. When I say Ajeshu Sarvadharmeshu, will this fellow will get confused about the reality of plurality, or he will drop the plural language and accept as singular? It's a test, and we'll take it as singular only. Though it is said Ajeshu Sarvadharmeshu, we call it Ajay Sarvadharme. So, Paramartatah in supreme reality, to Atmasu in all the selves, which are Ajeshu, which are never born. And what are the Atmaye, जो अजा है कि नित्य एक रस विज्ञप्ति मात्र सत्ताकेशु. Nitya eternal. Ekarasa, one homogeneous experience. What experience of Vignapti? Which sort of Vignapti? Vignapti Matra. Pure consciousness not illuminated. Either Vignapti existing or not existing, therefore Sattakeshu. It's a plural, but use it as singular. What is singular? Nitya Ekarasa Vignapti Matra Satta. That's it. Satte. Sadi. तो हिंदी में बताता हूँ पोएटिकली, आपको सुनेगा. वो आत्माएं जो अज है, वो आत्माएं जो अज है, क्योंकि वो नित्य एक रस विज्ञप्ति सत्ता रूप है. ऐसे आत्माओं में वैसे आत्माएं नहीं होते हैं, बट दैट्स सो पोएटिकली यूज्ड. दैट इज फ्रॉम द स्टैंडपॉइंट ऑफ सो मेनी जीवा स्ट्रगलिंग टू रीच द सेल्फ. वंस यू रीच द सेल्फ, इट इज वन. देयर सिंगुलर वर्क्स. So he is using word plural but addressing about the singular self in everyone. तो वो आत्माएं जो आज है, जो नित्य एक तरह से विज्ञप्ति सत्ता स्वरूप है, उनमें 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 शाश्वतः शाश्वतः इति वा न अविधा. शाश्वत है या अशाश्वत है ऐसा नाम उसका नहीं चलता. ऐसा नेमिंग कैनॉट बी डन. नेमिंग्स कैनॉट बी डन. न अभिधानम प्रवर्त्यते इति अत्र. You can't talk about it. Why? Because Abhidhana, the names, which is the assembly of the words, letters, valid only in this level. What is that? Let us see. कि यत्र येषु वर्ण्यन्ते यैः अर्थाः ते वर्णाः. So objects are described, explained. That things by which the objects are described or explained called varnyante, they are called as letters, varnaha. Te varna, that varna's letters, when they come together, shabdaha, they become shabdaha. Therefore, all the words which are assembly of the letters can never reach in trying to name the Atma, which is Aja, which is Nitya Ekarasa Vignapti Matra Sattaka. Why this is said insistingly? Why we are studying since yesterday about this? Because at the final level of experience, even this name giving, quality giving becomes an abstraction from the experience. सब छोड़ना है. It's a very interesting thing. Some examples are coming to me, but I don't like to give them. यत्र येषु वर्ण्यन्ते यैः अर्थाः ते वर्णाः शब्दाः न प्रवर्तन्ते अभिधातुं प्रकाशयन्तु न प्रवर्तन्ते इत्यर्थः. As I told you 5 minutes back, that will be more easy. The words can be used to explain if something is born, if something is a matter, if it has got some gunas in that, and if some modifications are happening in that. That's called jati, dravya, guna, vikara. Then marana. जाति में मरण. तो कोई वस्तु में जाति है, मरण है, द्रव्य है, गुण है, विक्रियाएं है, then you can use word to explain. That the example was given earlier. Somadattaha, born. If he is born, then you can name him. Then if he has got some qualities that is very noble, you can talk about those noble gunas. If he is a weighted person, you can talk that he is 70 kg or 80 pounds, 90. Because he is born, he has got weight, he has got some gunas, he can be talked about with the words. So what can you talk about Sheshavishana? This is a negative example. Because the horn of a hare are not there. Ever it is not born. Ever anything talked about it is never reaches it because the object nahi hai. That's about the negative नास्ति वस्तु. But the सत्ता रूप परमात्मा का भी न जन्म है, न गुण है, न द्रव्य है उनमें. उस परमात्मा के कारण जन्म द्रव्य गुण आदि प्रकाशित होते. Like a rose. Rose is born or not? Yeah. Has it got dravya or not? Yeah. Matterness. Has it got gunas or not? Yeah. So many gunas are there in it. Guna of color. Is it not? Guna of its softness. They're all qualities. The color, softness, and guna of fragrance. These are all gunas. Then it slowly gets blossomed. That kriyatmaka guna. Vikriya कहते हैं उसको. So earlier it was bud form in the morning. Slowly at 7 o'clock it started opening up. By the time 9 it has fully blossomed. These are all the vikara that is happening in it. So I'm talking it, using the words for it. And by the time it became evening or पूरा वो रोज जो है मुरझ गया. Then it fell. Then it merged to become one with the earth. All the shabda are used for the rose. But within the rose, for all these shabdas which are used for its guna, dravyata, janma, there is pure consciousness in the rose, pure satta in the rose. About that satta, inherently which has no guna, dravyadi, you cannot talk about it. That is a nirguna atma with saguna rose, an example. Saguna, sakara, sadravya, and savisheshana, and savikriya. It can be talked with the words. But nirguna, nirakara, nisdravya, nirbishesha, nirvikara, you can't talk about it. You can talk in this one only. It is called nirvikara. Nirvikara is not a definition. It is a rejection. विकार नहीं है तो रिजेक्शन को निर्विकार कहा. आकार नहीं है तो निराकार कहा. All the definitions of Atma are only rejection only. Nirguna, Nirvikara, Nirvishesha, Nirakara, Nitya, Akhanda. These are all rejections only of the opposite. So they are actually not definitions. But we take them as definition for meditation. When you start meditating on the word, then you know, अरे इस अब शब्द का अर्थ ही नहीं है, मैं इसके ऊपर कैसे ध्यान करूं? Like Akhanda, please meditate. Khanda you can meditate. But how can you meditate Akhanda? Like meditate on Sadguna. You can meditate Nirguna, you can meditate, but meditate on Nirguna. You understand? Sadguna, you can meditate on good qualities of Durguna, you can meditate on positive, negative quality. Nirguna कहो? अरे निर्गुण कैसे ऑब्जेक्ट होगा मेडिटेशन का? That is how drop sat and dusta, that which you experience is Atma, which cannot be put in any word. But in contrast with Sadguna and Durguna, we called it as Nirguna. Otherwise, it is neither Nirguna also. So by this shloka, in the pure Atma Vastu, the thinkable Sad and Asat, then speakable Shashvata, Ashashvata, they are rejected. That's how speech and thought cannot reach it. But it is experiential. This got a very sublime logic and Vedanta. I know if you are trying to listen, if you are trying to understand, कुछ लोगों को थोड़ा थोड़ा घुस रहा है. तो भाष्यकारा says that one कि वर्णा शब्दा न प्रवर्तन्ते अभिधातुम प्रकाशयितुम न प्रवर्तन्ते इत्यर्थः. This is the first line example. Second line क्या कहा? यत्र वर्णा न वर्णन्ते विवेक तत्र न च उच्यते. So नाजेषु सर्वधर्मेषु शाश्वत अशाश्वताभिधाः वर्णाः न वर्तन्ते. First line. So to विवेकः तत्र न उच्यते. What is विवेकः? कि इदम एवं इति विवेकः. Viveka means this is like this, to be able to say that. Viviktata tatra nitya anitya iti na uchyate. One of the viveka is, it is nitya and anitya. So viveka tatra na uchyate is the mantra. So nitya anitya iti viveka na uchyate. From the anitya standpoint, he is nitya. When you reach to the experience, he is neither nitya nor anitya, because in his experience the anitya is never there. देन अनित्य नहीं है तो इसको नित्य भी नहीं कह सकते हैं. अब कहो मत, उसको अनुभव करो. Because everything defined by the word is conditioned by the word. And the moment you use the word, you have to use Jati Dravya Guna. Jati Dravya Guna, limit the thing, no? When we are discussing about unlimited itself, how can you attribute attributes to it? If you attribute, it becomes limited. Then you are remaining in the discussion of the limited only, no? That is why the highest logic में in that unlimited infinite परमात्मा तत्व कोई भी जाति द्रव्य गुण का विचारण भी नहीं हो सकता, नाम भी नहीं हो सकता. That is why यतो वाचो निवर्तन्ते यतो वाचो निवर्तन्ते अप्राप्य मनसा सह is quoted in that Taittiriya Upanishad. Now we'll see again it one कि idam evam iti vivekah viviktata tatra nityah anityah iti na uchyate. The work of Viveka to say something in two forms. Here, the work of Viveka to say that Nitya and Anitya, both of them don't reach the Paramatma. That is the meaning he says. So now uchyate. Why? Yato vacho nivartante iti shrutehe. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, second Valli, in the fourth mantra, you will see that. Yato vacho nivartante apraapya manasa anandam brahmano vidvana vivedi kudascha nete. इसमें गुण भी नहीं है, जाति द्रव्य नहीं है, इसलिए वो वर्णन भी नहीं किया जा सकता. एंड इट कैन नॉट बी कॉन्सेप्ट आल्सो. इंटेलेक्चुअल कॉन्सेप्ट दैट नित्य नित्य, वर्बल वर्ड दैट इट शाश्वता शाश्वता, नॉट देयर इन दैट. इट्स ओनली एक्सपीरियंशियल. ओके, एग्जांपल. इवन देन हाउ कम द वर्ल्ड इज देयर? यथा स्वप्ने द्वयाभासं चित्तं चलति मायया तथा जाग्रत द्वयाभासं चित्तं चलति मायया. These 4-5 slokas are very dangerous. Very dangerous to such an extent that they will destroy all our vyavahara. Okay? Now these 3-4 slokas alone are the only most beautiful slokas positively, that which break the shackles of all the vyavahara and the grass, so that you can reach into the subtle experience which is beyond all vyavahara. Therefore, use this knowledge for breaking shackle to reach the self in yourself. After that, keep this knowledge aside and live the life of ignorance only when you are in vyavahara. मतलब ये व्यावहारिक ज्ञान नहीं है, ये तात्विक चिंतन है. तो तत्व अनुभव के लिए इसको यूज करो. व्यवहार में बी नॉर्मल. अदरवाइज इफ यू यूज दिस वन, इट इज abnormal only. Though it is a fact that this knowledge is very much practically explainable in the vyavahara also, but if you use this knowledge in vyavahara, vyavahara disappears. You will enter into tattva. अब तत्व में रहो तो यही आपको मदद करेगा. आप व्यवहार में रहोगे तो इसको साइड पे रखना. दिस श्लोक सब साइड पे रखना में नॉट भूल जाना. यूज द व्यवहारिक धर्म, व्यवहारिक लैंग्वेज व्हेन वी आर इन व्यवहार. What is that? I'll tell the literal meaning, then we will see the bhashya. It's very sublime, which we have heard earlier few times, different context में. यहाँ और स्पष्टता से कह रहे हैं कि यथा स्वप्ने द्वय आभासम चित्तम चलति माया. In the dream, chitta alone, because of maya, gets a chalanam and dichotomizes itself into the two things as the drashta and drushya. Now, it's a very thorough analysis. Bhashakara will give more detail. We'll go into that. But at our level in the beginning, we are trying to understand what is dream. Only one chitta, influenced by the maya, has got the abhas of the dvaya, because of which the two experiences of the dreamer and dream world appeared. माया चित्त चलन होकर उसमें द्वय का आभास हुआ. माया इज इनएक्सप्लिकेबल. वी हैव टू ब्रिंग दैट. माया इज द ओनली वे विच इज द फाइनल आंसर. इसको माया कहते हैं, जिसको समझ नहीं सकते, जो एक्चुअली हुआ ही नहीं. तत्व को जानो तो तत्व में माया नहीं होगा, तत्व में सब नहीं होंगे, कि सवाल भी नहीं होगा उसमें. दैट इज वाई छिद्यन्ते सर्व संशया. We have to explain the truth from truth standpoint. We have to explain the truth from the relative standpoint also. ये relative standpoint से कह रहे. What is relative standpoint? Listen carefully. What is the dream? Dream is experience of dreamer of the dream world. So देर द्वया है कि नहीं ड्रीम में? ड्रीमर आई एम देयर, आई एक्सपीरियंस द ड्रीम वर्ल्ड, सो द्वया हुआ. व्हाट इज एक्सप्लेन हियर इज दैट द्वया आभास इज बिकॉज चलन ऑफ द चित्त. द चित्त का चलन क्यों हुआ? कि माया के कारण. व्हाट इज माया? बता नहीं सकते. इसका अर्थ क्या हुआ? हिंदी में बताओ. पता नहीं क्या हुआ, क्या कारण है कि चित्त ने चलन किया और द्वय का आभास हुआ और स्वप्न का अनुभव हुआ और उसको पकड़कर उसको सत्य मानने लगा ए ड्रीमर. What happens in the waking with regard to the dream? Listen carefully. In the waking, the Maya did not work. Therefore, the chalanam of the chitta never happened. Spandanam of the chitta. Therefore, the chitta spandana itself made the chitta to appear as the experiencer and experiencer duality in the dreamer. That is not there. Yata swapne dvayabhasam chittam chalati maya. स्वप्न में माया का कारण चित्त का चलन होने से द्वय का आभास हुआ कि आई वाज एक्सपीरियंसिंग ड्रीम एंड द ड्रीम वर्ल्ड वाज देयर. बट द ड्रीम वर्ल्ड वाज देयर एज वी सॉ इन अर्लियर श्लोकास. आगे भी आएगा कि इन ड्रीम आल्सो यू मीट पीपल, यू गो टू द पीपल, यू गो टू डिफरेंट प्लेसेस, यू होल्ड ऑन टू डिफरेंट ऑब्जेक्ट्स. दीस आर ऑल कॉल्ड द्वय आभास. व्हाट इज सेड हियर? वेरी पावरफुल थॉट. विल से इट टू टाइम्स. फर्स्ट यहाँ बताएंगे, फिर भाष्य के टाइम भी कि it is other than the chitta, there is no actually the seen duality of the entire world of dream. चित्त स्पंदन ही है वो. Two things मैं बता रहा हूँ, ध्यान से. That's what will be the essence of the भाष्य also. Entire world of dream, whether it is जड़ा चेतन जो भी था, जैसे मैं ड्रीम में था तो वो पार्क में गया हूँ. So there the park is there, the grass is there, the plants are there. Around the plants, the bricks are cooked. There are some places of the stone made. One people can sit on that. Some people are sitting also. So the stony seats are there. The iron made seats also are there. Then the grass is there. Then that some titili also is there. Then some boys, girls, or youngsters, or some children or family, they are there also having their own picnic. And there's a tree beyond that, there's a sky space, so there are some clouds also, and that may be in the sunset time, so evening sun is setting or morning time. In dreams so many are seen. Be attentive. All of them are chitta spandana. Please remember it. Now the next second beautiful thing is what? All that are seen by me, the dreamer, no? तो वही तो मैं रिपोर्ट कर रहा हूं भाई. That fellow also chitta spandana. So there are two things. First, dvaya are there. The dreamer and the dream world. In the dream world, there is dvandva is there. Subha, Sham, Shatru, Mitra, या मीठा खट्टा या सुख दुख, इतने सारे द्वंद्व आए ना ड्रीम में. So the dvandva for which the dvaya, in that dvaya, I the seer, the world is seen. I am the dreamer, the world dreamer, dreamt. I the dreamer, the world dreamt. Both of them are chitta spandana only. Now, two steps here. Whose chitta spandana? Of the dreamer's chitta spandana. Now, in the dreamer's chitta spandana only, he is the dreamer and there is a dream world. Two are created, two are put as if separated also. So, उसमें दो steps बता रहे, ध्यान से सुनना. First step क्या है? The entire dream world is none other than the chitta of the dreamer. Because chitta spandana only gave the dream. Spandana word को साइड पे रखना. It is conveyed what is to be conveyed. What is to be conveyed? Entire dream world is the chitta of the dreamer. First to understand it. Entire dream world is the chitta of the dreamer. Now second point is very essential. The chitta of the dreamer is never away other than himself. The chitta of the dreamer is never separate from the dreamer. Means क्या हुआ? Dreamer alone became chitta. Chitta alone became the world. And why it happened? Maya. But solution is there. What is that? When you catch the self, the dreamer, इसका चित्त भी जगत भी सब चला जाएगा. It will be understood that he is one without second. That is the load of this first line. यथा स्वप्ने द्वय आभासम चित्तम चलति माया. Maya chalati chittama, therefore dvaya abhasam happens. Otherwise, what is there is chitta only one. सो प्योर कॉन्शियसनेस में माया का प्रभाव से चलन होकर ये देखने वाला और देखा गया जगत के रूप में दो का भान हो रहा है. So who is creating two-ness? Spandana. Who is creating Spandana? The Maya. Who is owner of the Maya? The Paramatma. In the Paramatma, is the Maya is there? Not there. Therefore, is the Spandana is there? Not there. Therefore, is the Dvaya is there? Not there. Therefore, is the dreamer and dream experience are there? Not there. Dream world. This is how the deepest contemplation. We are doing loud contemplation, facilitating you. You also think like that. Just like it is happening in the dream. He says same 100% is waking also. Tatha Jagrata. In Jagrata also Dvaya Abhasam. It's very easy to explain Jagrat than the dream. In the Jagrat, the entire thing is Dvaya only, no? That I, the world in front of me. I am the experiencer, the world in front of me, experience. Dvaya hai ki nahi? What he said is this Dvaya bhi Abhas hai. How come it is born? Because of Chitta Chalanam. And why the Chitta is doing Chalana? Maya. And what is the relation between the Chalita Chitta, which is creating Dvaita, and the owner of this Chalita Chitta, the conscious self, consciousness self alone is Chitta. Chitta Spandana alone is Jagatu. But this Jagat, which is Dvaita, when you involve in that, it is making us forget that we are conscious self. Therefore, we have to withdraw from it. And when you enter into the Chaitanya Atma, then that being one without second, there is no spandana in that. In that there is no Jagat. The Jagat is not there, therefore Jagat के सुख भी नहीं होंगे, जगत के दुख भी नहीं होंगे, लेकिन मैं परमात्मा हूँ, वो आनंद तो मिलेगा. Only if you are ready for this deal or business, you have to enter into spirituality. And this is a highly contemplative thought. Not possible at the emotional level. Never possible when the intellect is very gross. Very sublime intellect with full Shraddha in the Shastra and Guru Vakya. When it is utilized, then the depth behind this sloka is explained. And for Karika Kara level of Guru, it is a casual sentence. अरे बेटा तेरे सपने में तुम ही स्वप्न पुरुष है, स्वप्न अनुभव करने वाला व्यक्ति भी और स्वप्न जगत बने हैं. उस स्पंदन के कारण एंटायर स्वप्न जगत is स्वप्न पुरुष चित्ता, स्वप्न पुरुष चित्ता is स्वप्न पुरुष only. Same is the entire jagat is your own chitta, and your chitta is your own conscious self. This is the ultimate goal. My own conscious self became my chitta got spandita because of my own maya. Spandita chitta became the experiencer jiva, experienced jagat. So the experiencer jagat, experiencer jiva, both are chitta spandana. Chitta spandana haven't become maya. Maya is supported by the conscious self. Oh, in the conscious self, there is no maya. Therefore, there is no spandana. Therefore, there is no drashta drushya viveka or expression. So, two words. In pure self, there is no duality of experiencer and experienced. Experiencer and experienced is only the spandana. Where? In the chitta. From where? Because of maya. Where from all of them are existing? In the atma. This riddle, if you can sort out, you are understanding Vedanta. That's why again we are saying, इस एंगल से भी हमको देखना है, इस एंगल से भी देखना है. इस एंगल से देखते हुए उधर पहुंचना है, उधर पहुंचकर उस एंगल से देखो तो ये होना ही नहीं. What you are saying? The world. Can you, the world be there without you, the seer? No. First sentence very clear. What is seen is the world. Can the world seen be there without the seer? No. Therefore, what are the two things? They are seer and seen. Second question. Where do these both seer and seen are existing? Both seer means seen existing only my chitta only. मैं कहाँ हूँ भाई? मेरे चित्त में ही हूँ ना. ये जगत कहाँ है? मेरे चित्त में है. So how come one chitta be appear as two? That is how some spandana happened, therefore it happened. Who created spandana? The Maya. Now to this spandita Maya, spandana and the spandana leading to Dvaita of the knower and known. Is the consciousness there or not in that? In other words, are you conscious of your chitta or not? Yeah. Are you conscious of your spandana of the chitta or not? Yeah. When the chitta becomes spandita, in that chitta only the two forms are taking up. That I am the knower, the world is known. So of this knower, are you conscious of or not? Yeah. So are you conscious of the known or not? Yeah. Therefore, what's happening here? Conscious self only because of Maya appearing as Chitta. Because of Maya creating Spandana in Chitta. Because of Maya making the Chitta appear as Dvaya, called as experiencer and experienced. This analysis which should take us to conscious self in the seat of contemplation. In that contemplation level, at the finer level, first you will drop the seen Jagat. Then you stop the seer. When the seer seen are not there, the spandana gone away. When the spandana goes away, chitta goes away. When the chitta goes away, the atma remains. When the atma is experienced, from that standpoint, you see that atma cannot be influenced by the maya. Therefore, it will not come to the level of chitta. Then it will not be disturbed by the maya as spandana. Then the dvaya abhasa cannot happen. What remains is pure conscious experience. That is how, from that standpoint, you come to this. From this standpoint, you establish in this. Don't go there back. That is a beautiful thing in this sloka. Yatha swapne dvaya abhasam chittam chalati mayaya तथा जागृत द्वयाभासम चित्तम चलति मायया. For you and me, chitta is chalata, therefore dvayabhasa is there. To explain to us the word maya used by that guru. From the guru standpoint, there is no dvaita, there is no chalanam chitta. On the other hand, there is a pure experience of atma is there. Therefore, there is no need of using the word maya also. हमारे लिए वो यूज कर रहे हैं. बेटा तुम तुम्हारे अंदर माया के कारण तुम खुद ही दो बन रहे हो. What about you, Guru Garu? I am experiencing one without second. Therefore, there is no dvaita in me. Therefore, I don't need the explanation of the maya in between. You to do the same thing. What you have to do? Because the influence of Maya, Dvaita happened. In the Dvaita, the experienced and experiencer are there. Drop the experienced, come to experiencer. Then inquire the nature of the experiencer, you will come to the Atma. When you look from the Atma, it is unmodifiable, unchangeable, undeniable. Therefore, the Maya cannot influence it. It never became the Jagat. Therefore, Nasti Jagat, Ajatavada established. These are all very deep, very sublime contemplations. When we do in our dhyana avastha, then you can see what is real. And while doing all that, my pure consciousness exists. In fact, that is the ultimate self. On that only because of knowledge, ये knowledge नहीं था, absent था. Therefore, the चित्त का आना, चित्त is expression of Maya only. चित्त का स्पंदन भी माया का ही एक्सप्रेशन है. स्पंदित चित्त अपियरिंग है द्वैता एज एक्सपीरियंसर एंड एक्सपीरियंस्ड, वो भी माया का है. इन द प्योर परमात्मा नन ऑफ देम आर देयर. लाइक इन ए जादू, वट एवर द जादू चढ़ी माया का है, जादूगर के माया का है. एंड डिफरेंट मूवमेंट्स ऑफ जादू चढ़ी ऑल्सो द माया ऑफ द जादूगर. एंड बिकॉज द मूवमेंट दैट इज अपियरिंग इज वेरियस फॉर्म्स ऑल्सो इज माया ऑफ द जादूगर. जादूगर में कुछ फर्क नहीं हो रहा. तो जादूगर के माया रूपी शक्ति से सब बन रहे हैं. बट ऑल द जादू डिस्टर्ब्स अदर्स और इफेक्ट्स द अदर पीपल हु आर वाचिंग, बट नॉट द जादूगर. इन द जादूगर neither maya nor its expression of the chadi nor its movements nor the world created. So too in the atma jnani there is no maya, there is no maya prakopa of the chittata, there is no chalanam in the chitta or spandanam, there is no creation of dvaita. Therefore, your all questions and answers, all of them end in the Atma Anubhuti. When you know the Atma, that and that alone is there, and that is Pratyaksha Rupena Anubhuta. Therefore, there is no question or doubt or ignorance or any explanation required there. सारे शास्त्र, सारे बकबक, सारा सुनना, सारा मनन चिंतन meditation, none of them will be required when you reach it. That's the beautiful experience. But to reach to that, ये सारे प्रक्रियाएं चाहिए. This much you understand. The Chitta Chalana created dream, where the dream world is there. Same Chitta Chalana created the waking world, where waker and dream are there. And this Chitta is never different from the Chit. Chit is I. So the dream world of dreamer and dream experience are different, not different from the Chitta of the dreamer. And dreamer chitta is never separate from the dreamer. Who is the dreamer ultimately? Conscious self only. That's a different plane, different condition. लेकिन वो ड्रीमर भी आत्मा ही है, वेकर भी आत्मा है, स्लीपर भी आत्मा है. उसी आत्मा को अलग कंडीशन से अलग देखा जा रहा है. तीनों को मिलाकर एक जीव कह रहे हैं. जीवा इज द इग्नोरेंट बॉर्न, ignorance of the self. In the ignorance of the conscious self, the concept of jiva is born. That concept of jiva only going through Jagra, Swapna, Sushupti with all the experiences. All of them are spandana. मतलब परमात्मा से वो वाला चित्त जो कभी था ही नहीं, वो एक्सप्रेस हुआ. उस चित्त में वो स्पंदना हुआ, वो माया से जो कभी नहीं था, और वो स्पंदना ने उस द्वैत को निर्माण किया जो कभी नहीं था. That's what all the projections of the movie at the real time. Now the digital का अलग हो गया दुनिया. Oh, that time on the screen you see the entire movie where it is never there. It's only projected. The light projected through the movement of the reel, spandana it is. It's not one out of the reel, स्पंदन हो रहा है, इसलिए वह चलचित्र दिख रहा है. नहीं तो वो स्थिर चित्त है. स्थिर चित्र में मूवमेंट कहाँ है, दुनिया कहाँ है, वर्ल्ड ऑफ मूवमेंट. Even the sthira chitra be projection only because of impressions. If you study how the pictures are taken through camera and the role of the light there, role of the film there, role of the play of the light and shadow, then all Vedanta is understood. Study that, how the cameras work, how the projectors work. Thoroughly. पक्का आपको वेदांत पूरा समझ में आएगा. And at a outset level, from nowhere and nothing, the director has imagined and created such a huge thing which is not real at any point. Not real at all. It's a fictitious, it's only projection. But director has created a reality. So to the self, the director is creating the entire cinema of the entire world, which though appearing so real, at every point it is not real at all. डायरेक्टर के मन में भी इमेजिन्ड है, सारे एक्टर्स के मन में भी इमेजिन्ड है, शूटिंग के दौरान सब इमेजिनेशन है. जो पिक्चर बनकर तैयार हुआ सेल करने का टाइम, वो भी एक डब्बा में इमेजिन्ड है. देन व्हेन इट इज रिलीज्ड ऑन द इवेंट, दैट टाइम इज इमेजिन्ड. व्हेन इन द बिग थिएटर और थिएटर्स, व्हेन इट इज प्रोजेक्टेड, दैट टाइम इट इज इमेजिन्ड. व्हेन द पीपल हैव गॉन टू सी दैट मूवी, वो भी इमेजिनेशन है. कोई रियली नहीं है, बट वी ऑल लुक एट इट. In the same way, every jiva is imagining his own world. Ishvara also imagining the world. None of them are real. Real is only self. But it takes time to listen these things, accept these things, contemplate on them, digest them. बहुत समय लेता है. वही विचार का काम है. Keep on doing the vicharana. That which will never agree on the day one, slowly. It's just like in the day one, you are never interested in Upanishads and all. As slowly you are listening, you are understanding, and you are seeing its validity. You started taking the Upanishads to be the ultimate source of knowledge. Look at the day of our beginning and now. बोथ स्पिरिचुअल मार्ग के लिए भी, शास्त्र अध्ययन के लिए भी कहो, किस जगह पे थे हम, अब कितना बदलाव आया. सेम वे व्हेन यू कीप ऑन लिसनिंग, इन आवर अंडरस्टैंडिंग आल्सो बदलाव कम्स. फर्स्ट थिंग इज ऑन रियलिटी नामक कोई चीज है ही नहीं है, वर्ल्ड ओनली इज रियल. But with patience and faith, consistency, and keep on doing, final stage we reach. Self alone is real. There is nothing called as world. World is never born only. And at the first stage, we are there. At the final stage, the Mandukya Karika is there. And he is paving the path through all these four Karikas or Prakaranas for us to reach from where we are to reach to where he is. And it's a process. Every step we have to go through. We are only very Vihanga Vikshanam हम देख रहे हैं. Or when we enter into that consciously, when there's an exhibition, आधे घंटे में सारे शॉपों का नंबर और आइटम देखकर आना भी एक होता है. और एक ही एग्जीबिशन को 10 दिन भी देख सकते हो आप, व्हेन यू गो टू एवरी लेन एंड एवरी स्टॉल एंड एवरी ऑब्जेक्ट। फर्स्ट थिंग विल गिव ओनली वन आइडिया कि मैं एग्जीबिशन में जाके आया हूँ, बट सेकंड थिंग विल बी ए डिस्टिंक्ट एक्सपीरियंस दैट मैंने एक एक लेन में एक एक शॉप के एक एक वस्तुओं को देखा। So too we can see the exhibition of the Mandukya Karika Karas, this Upanishad, like the first person also, which we are doing now, that we are just browsing through. But the second example, where he has gone to every shop and looked into every item. है ना, एग्जीबिशन में सब होते हैं, द किचन वेयर होते हैं, देन मेंस वेयर विमेन्स वेयर होते हैं, फिर बच्चों के खिलौने होते हैं, फिर खाने की चीज़ें होते हैं, फिर इलेक्ट्रिकल्स आर डिफरेंट, द इलेक्ट्रॉनिकल्स आर डिफरेंट, द मैकेनिकल थिंग्स आर डिफरेंट। इन इलेक्ट्रॉनिक द होल टीवी सेक्शन इज डिफरेंट, द इलेक्ट्रिकल द रेफ्रिजरेटर इसका अलग सेक्शन होता है, फैंस वगैरह। देन देयर इज अ सेक्शन ऑफ ऑल द बैग्स बैगेजेस, बड़े बड़े एनआरआई सूटकेस से लेकर मिनी पर्स तक होते हैं, उसका अलग है। कपड़ों का अलग है, इन विमेन सेक्शन उसमें भी छोटे बच्चे से लेकर बड़े बूढ़े आंटी तक, दादी। मेन सेक्शन ऑल्सो स्मॉल चाइल्ड टू द बिगर वन। देखो खिलौने में अलग होते हैं, द चाइल्ड प्ले आइटम्स आर मिडिल एज प्ले, तो बूढ़े लोगों के खेलने के अलग होते हैं, बुजुर्ग। ईटेबल्स आल्सो डिफरेंट, द फैंसिंग ईटेबल्स आर देयर, जंक फूड, ट्रेडिशनल फूड आर, एग्जीबिशन की बात कह रहा हूँ। तो व्हेन यू गो थ्रू ऑल ऑफ दैट, इंडस्ट्रियल एग्जीबिशन स्टार्टिंग डे आफ्टर टुमारो इन हैदराबाद, व्हिच इज एवरी ईयर फर्स्ट फ्रॉम 1 जनवरी टू 14 फरवरी, हर साल होता है। आप स्टार्ट, वी यूज्ड टू एंजॉय इट, क्या क्या मजेदार, गोइंग थ्रू ऑल दैट। अदर थिंग इज व्हाट, जस्ट ब्राउजिंग, गली-गली में देख आधे घंटे में बाहर आते हैं कुछ लोग। कुछ लोग हर दिन जाते हैं, टुडे ओनली दिस सेक्शन दिस। तो वी आर आल्सो गोइंग थ्रू उपनिषद, दो इट इज टेकिंग 300-200 डेज फॉर अस, फिर भी इट्स ओनली अ ब्राउजिंग। बट पर्सनली व्हेन यू लुक इनटू एवरी श्लोका, यथा स्वप्ने, the moment when he says yatha swapne, you have to remember one of your dream. Then when he says dvaya abhasam, first to experience the, remember that dvaya which is experienced, and then understand the word when he said it is an abhasa. Why it is an abhasa? Because anything which is not permanent is abhasa. Only the reality is not abhasa, which is always there. Like screen is every day there, it's not reality. Every day different movies projected, that is abhasa. Why this screen projection is abhasa? Because सुबह नहीं था वो, शाम को नहीं होगा. So to the same dream is not always there. Therefore it is called abhasa. You have to accept. The dream is there, in dream there is dvaya, it has come and gone, there is abhasa. Now at the time of the dream happening, what exactly happened, we have to sort out. पहले बात की बात किसी को फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Like before the world was not there, after the world is not there, we need not worry about it. In the present when the world is there, there only you have to discover reality. That is the challenge. जब दुनिया नहीं था, दुनिया नहीं रहेगा, दुनिया नहीं है, बोलना क्या ग्रेट है उसमें? जब दुनिया इतना दिख रहा है, इसी समय इसको डिस्कार्ड करके, इसी में परमात्मा को पाना, दैट इज स्पिरिचुअलिटी। दैट इज व्हाट द एग्जांपल। सो यथा स्वप्ने द्वया आभासम, then there it's only chitta, you have to accept it. Chalati, you have to accept it. Maya, say accept it. Therefore the conclusion of all of that is what? It is a pure self only became dreamer. Dreamer has become his own chitta. Chitta became spandita with his own permission of Maya. The spandita chitta became as dreamer and dream experiencer, and all that is abhasa, because when you wake up none of them are there. Such every step minutely you have to understand in the example. Then apply that in the waking. Tatha jagrat dvayavasam chittam charati maya. Then you read the bhashya, then the explanation in the bhashya. ऐसा जो पढ़ेगा एक मांडुक्य को, बस उसके लिए ना सारा पोल खुल जाएगा दुनिया का या बंधन का, रहस्य खुल जाएगा. Once the secret is revealed, nothing binds you. Bondage is because of ignorance. Ignorance is not knowing. When you know it, no more secret, there is no bondage. मजेदार. In the same way, the three more slokas put together, he gives us bhashya. We study that. Advayam cha dvayabhasam chittam swapnena samshayaha. Advayam cha dvayabhasam tata jagratna samshayaha. These are the slokas which were discussed earlier also in a third prakarana, 29-30 mantras. So advayam cha dvaya abhasam chittam swapnena samshayaha. The one chitta only which is Advaya, appearing as Dvaya, that is created the dream. And that's why one explanation came at that time, which we'll elaborate tomorrow. Ki my dream is my own personal. You may come to my dream, but it is my you that is. You never came. That is why you never know what dream I had till I tell you. Even when I tell you, you take it as my dream only. And if you take it as yours, it is your imagination, but not mine. इसलिए हर एक का अपना सपना प्राइवेट होता है. While saying so, another bomb he gave. So to everyone's Jagrat Jagat also absolutely private, which will be accepted and understood only when you deeply think. Means what? In this Jagat of mutual, where I am there speaking to you, all this my speaking to you is happening, no? This my speak and you, all of them are in my personal world. Like I imagine you are sitting and listening. It is my imagination only. इनमें से कितने लोग कितने बार उठे चले गए या बैठ कर ही क्या क्या सोच रहे हैं, क्या मेरे को पता है? नहीं पता. दैट इज योर दुनिया. But I don't know that one. I know my dunya only. In my dunya, I feel that you have come regular, sincere, listening, attentively. ये सब मेरी दुनिया में है. If you go deeply into this, no, other than me, there is nothing you will experience it. In the same way, in your dream world, you have dream world in your imagination only, chitta. You are as a listener, I am as a speaker, and all my speech. And you never know what are there in my mind. You will know only that which you imagine only. Like when I'm giving some examples, only that you will know. But so many other examples which are there in my mind, you will never know that. What it shows, it's I am in your own imagined world for you. You are there in my own world for you. Therefore, there is no world other than me as you. Therefore, मेरी दुनिया में है. आप सब कौन हो फिर? मैं ही हूँ. This sorting out is called Vedanta. Then there's no duality that is existing. But this will never be understood from the gross deha mana buddhi indriya standpoint. इस स्टैंड पॉइंट में माया द्वैत को सच ही दिखाएगा और वहां व्यवहार ही काम को आएगा. व्यवहार में द्वैत की जरूरत है ही. When I only go to the consciousness level, then only in the light of consciousness, everything whichever is there unreal but appeared, the what is there is one without second conscious self only will be accepted. सो वृत्तियों के दृष्टि से द्वैत है. व्यवहार की दृष्टि से द्वैत होना ही चाहिए. बट आत्म दृष्टि से ना व्यवहार की जरूरत है ना वृत्तियां हैं, इसलिए द्वैत है ही नहीं. आत्म दृष्टिया त्वमेवाहम. But absolute truth is Atma only. And in that only the Maya, the Chittata, the projection, then acceptance of the projected world as second two, and then all interactions, they appear to be so real, like in the dream, like in the movie. आप मूवी में देखोगे तो सच्ची बात है, वो हीरो विलन मिलना, लड़ाई करना. बिकॉज यू आर टेक इट एज रियल, इट इज अपियरिंग एज रियल. आवेश के कारण चलता है वो. तो व्यवहार इतना रियल है व्हेन यू एक्सेप्ट इट. It's a very real. You're accepting it. If you don't accept, reject, nothing is real. When you say the whole dunya mere log hai, mere dost hai, then you make everybody. If you other song, dost na raha, yaar pyar na, nobody is there. कोई हमदम ना रहा. If you go into that mood, nobody is there to you. It is in व्यवहार also you can see every day. जिस दिन आपको मूड होता है, 10 people you call. The other day when you have spiritual mood, you forget all of them, you put off the phone, you are oneself with the meditation. Are you observing that relativity or not? At the highest level also so. In the pure self, the whole relativity is not there. If you imagine the entire world comes, if you give reality, it appears to be real. So all the discussion should slowly loosen the ignorance that the world is real. Loosen the ignorance that there is nothing other than the world. Give the wisdom that world is not a real. Give the wisdom is self alone is real. It should indicate to us a goal that knowing the self alone is liberation. Slowly we withdraw from the duality, go into the spiritual self. ये सब बहुत टाइम लेता है, इसलिए so many जन्म. Like I want to have my own house is a thought. Looks to be so beautiful, but has it its own time taking or not? its own activities or not? Yeah. First of all, you have to think which place I must take the house, depending on what is my age and what is my requirements and all that. गांव में ले लूं या जंगल में ले लूं या शहर में ले लूं? Is it not? Then it should be a house to be constructed or ready-made. If you have to be constructed house, then to be constructed, then the land, then the size of the land, then the planning of the house. For that, you have to call the contractor, engineer, जो भी बनाते हैं. Then you go to municipal office, apply there. Then they will come and check the area. Is the area plinth area place to be left for the government? Is there properly followed or not? Then they sanction the plan. Then you go for the money. You see your bank balance. You go for the apply loan. देन लोन के लिए वहाँ अप्लाई करना है, देन वो लोग सैंक्शन विथ ऑल दिस मनी, देन यू हैव टू गो फॉर द कॉन्ट्रैक्टर लेबरर्स, देन गेट ऑल द आइटम्स. सबका टाइम ले रहा है कि नहीं बाबा? इट्स सब इन द सेम वे. Knowing the truth, though it is ultimate goal, it has its own karma yoga, bhakti yoga, ashtanga yoga processes, antakarana shuddhi process. Then the tattva jnana, where why the tattva alone is reality, other are unreal. You have to go through that process. All of them should lead to you into that fourth ashram of sannyasa, where knowing the truth is the only goal, not other things. In that only the contemplative mood, slowly the chitta spandanas are dropped. Conspicuously, you can see the drashta, drushya both are dissolving. Then the na drashta, na drushyavala, your conscious self is experienced as me. सबको इसे गुजरना पड़ता है. Now, among that, where do we stand? If you understand, then what is to be done, you will understand. We are at the both level of the self is reality, not clearly convinced. Therefore, be regular in the class. The world is real, we are in that idea. Therefore, slowly use your Vivek Vairagya and live in the world with Karma Yoga with Dharma. And in between, bring the Lord and do devotion to Him. Bas itne mein rehna. As it gets unfolded, go to the next level. In and through all that, Guru, Shastra, Satsang, Sadhana, nahi chodna. That is how it takes. I'm just giving an idea, which is not there in the Upanishad as a part, but just an idea as to where do we stand, where do we have to go. So, Chittam Charati Maya, all these are the beautiful shlokas. We'll see tomorrow. Advayam cha dayabhasam chittam swapnena samshayaha advayam cha dayabhasam tadha jagrana samshayaha swapna drukprataran swapne dikshu vedashishu stitan annajan svedyan vapi jivan pashatyan sada swapna drukchitta drushyaste na vidyante tata pratako tata tadrusham evedam swapna drukchittamishyate jagrat chitte kshaniyaste na vidyante tata pratako तथा तदृश्यमेवेदं जाग्रत चित्तमिष्यते उभे ह्यन्योन्यो दृश्येते किं तदस्तीति नोच्यते लक्षणशून्यमोऽयं तन्मतेनैव गृह्यते यथा स्वप्नमयो जीवः जायते मृतेऽपि च तथा जीवामि सर्वे भवन्ति न भवन्ति च यथा मायामयो जीवः जायते मृतेऽपि च तथा जीवामि सर्वे भवन्ति न भवन्ति च यथा निर्मितिको जीवः जायते मृतेऽपि च तथा जीवामि सर्वे भवन्ति न भवन्ति च न कश्चित् जायते जीवः सम्भवोऽस्य न विद्यते एतत् तदुत्तमं सत्यं यत्र किञ्चित् न जायते. एक मिनट. देखो, सिनेमा टिकट लेके सिनेमा में जाते हो हॉल में या कोई एग्जीबिशन, आप जब तक अंदर नहीं जाते हो, बाहर ही रहते हो, अंदर का है नहीं बताओ तो. आप जो अंदर के लिए टिकट लिए गए, सीट में बैठे, देन व्हेन द सिनेमा शो और एग्जीबिशन शो स्टार्ट्स, then you will see the different worlds of impossibilities experienced. Only after going through all of them, then when you get fed up, when you leave that, you come to your own original world of outer world. Example understood? Now, in the same way, as long as you are in samsaric jagat, you will never know what is there in the spiritual life, which includes shastra, satsang, which we are trying to enter every day morning. Then, having entered into it, when you deeply contemplate, inquire, and reach to the self, then only you know the glory of it. After the knowing of glory of self only, from there, when you look back, you laugh at the world of ignorance, which you were living earlier. But all of that needs that sacrifices. Like you have sacrificed the house comfort, then only you go into the movie and enjoy it. Only when you kick the movie, then you come back to your own world of your own vyavahar. Same way we kicked the Paramatma and are in the samsara suffering. You keep away samsara for some time, enter into satsanga, then only the intricacies are understood. And when you are meditating on them, then only theory becomes experience. Only then you know what is the meaning of liberation. उसके लिए जितना पेशेंस एफर्ट की जरूरत है करते जाओ. ओके. ओम 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 Om 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 Om. Nowadays in our Shakti classes, your spiritual thought, especially for us, with so many satsangas, if we are not getting the joy of freedom, then what is the use of them? So we are trying to get that joy of freedom. Yesterday we said as the Jagat Mithya Shakti. Today we talked about Naham Devasmi Shakti. Develop that Shakti as early as possible so that the Deha Dukkha should not be our Dukkha. And as long as Deha is intact, do Dharma Punya, use it for Seva of the Guru, and do Satsanga, and make yourself more grown and evolved. Same thing we are also doing. Let us do together. That was the idea of Naham Devasmi Shakti. Tomorrow Naham Devasmi, day before, day after Aham Brahmasmi. Then we go to other topics. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Guru Pyo Namaha. Paramanashubhyo Parabrahmane Shrutimatre Namah Tatsat Brahmarpanamastu Manduka Maharshi Gaudavadacharya Varyaya Adya Shankara Satgurubhyo Namaha. तो 5 मिनट फिर भी देना ही पड़ेगा पाठ